Chris, appreciate you giving us a couple of minutes. Final game of the regular season. Lot in play for this Columbus team, a crew team, which obviously coming into the year for the better part of the first half of the season, generally regarded as a top team in Major League Soccer. That's not really the case right now. It's a team that has struggled on the back end. What have been the missing pieces? Maybe is the best way to say, or what has gone wrong for a Columbus team? And to be fair to the crew, I think everyone's so used to them being a team that going into the playoffs, everyone says that team can win MLS Cup. Not sure that that's the same feeling right now.
Doc, thanks for having me on the show. You're right. The squad spent most of the summer in fourth place, flirting with fifth. But then after we got into September, a really dry month when it comes to scoring goals in Major League Soccer for the crew this year, a seventh, eighth, and now ninth position in the standings going into decision day. An opportunity, given some other teams' results on Saturday night, to maybe get to seventh, but that's a long shot. Eighth and ninth is probably the spot for Columbus when we wake up on Sunday morning, and then the determination as to whether or not Columbus finishes in eighth and gets that home field advantage on the Wednesday night play-in game. It's really not what the crew expected, but the crew is also kind of proud of the fact that they gave up in a trade their biggest goal scorer and perhaps their most prolific player in a long time in Cucho Hernandez to start the season, to a worthy trade out to Real Betis in Spain. And then Christian Ramirez going to the LA Galaxy because he wanted to be closer to his family and more than likely be a starter on a squad this year. So Columbus enters the season knowing that they are in the hunt for a true number nine. And they had that hunt underway, but they couldn't seal the deal in a couple of weeks. And it took until we got to the end of the Club World Cup, actually, here in this past summer, to get Wessam Abu Ali to join. The crew, without those goal scorers, was able to really keep the team afloat. Yeah, we were getting by, and yeah, there were some draws that we really could have had register as wins if we had all the players I think that the team was relying on. But nevertheless, fourth or fifth as we entered September. Injuries is really what got us in the last 2 months. And so we're starting to see players come back. Steven Moreira will be back from national team duty, as will Patrick Schulte and Max Arfston. And then beyond that, we enjoy the healing of Diego Rossi. And the arrival of Wessam Abu Ali off the injured list probably doesn't come until the third game of the best of three series.
So much I would think of this game, depending on does Columbus play in the playoff game? Are they a home team or a road team? And do they get a game in the quarterfinal round? Lost in all of that, Chris, is this is the last game at home, in theory, for one of the best that Major League Soccer has ever seen in Darlington Nagbe. Give me a sense of what that means to Columbus, what that means to this year's edition of the crew, trying to make sure that their guy goes out with a win in what could be his last home game.
It's just the way you phrased it is really touching. And I have a feeling for the first time in my broadcast career, I may be brought to tears this weekend watching it all unfold. Darlington's been our captain for the last 3 years. He oversaw the 2023 run to the MLS Cup and the win at Lower.com Field over LAFC. He came back to Ohio, his home state, in 2020 at the behest of Tim Bezbachenko, our general manager, Issa Tall, and then head coach Caleb Porter, who coached him at Akron here in Ohio, as well as in Portland, where they won championships on the college level and the MLS Cup in 2015 in Portland. They won the 2020 MLS Cup together, and he got his fourth MLS Cup when they won in 2023. I don't want to overlook the Atlanta ride, but the 2018 Atlanta team was able to capture an MLS Cup with Darlington Nagbe. He is beloved, not just in the locker room, but in the community, has received the Humanitarian Award several times over from the league, and from the club has been a model citizen, both for the club as well as the community at large in the city of Columbus. When you watch him, and I know, Doc, you're at every stadium, so you'll see when the crew come out for pregame warmups, Darlington goes right to the touchline and he signs autographs with the kids. I used to think it was just his kids and their few friends from the neighborhood. I think it's every neighborhood in the city of Columbus that has gotten Darlington's autograph by the way he's so loyal to that activity. And then post game, it's the same way. It's pictures with the kids, it's signing autographs with the kids. He's got a house full of kids, dogs, and a trooper of a wife at home that I know he's looking forward to spending more time with. I think Darlington finishing up this season as a revered player, much as he's finished every season as such a revered player, will certainly go down in history and have a tremendous amount of pride in knowing how he guided this club out of the misery of the pandemic with two championships and a Campione's Cup and a career of memories that he can look back on and be very proud of.
Best six in league history, without a question, Chris. Steve and I talk about that every time we see Columbus. He is a guy that epitomizes really what an MLS player means. And you mentioned his different stops. One of the things I'm looking forward to watching him one more time. In terms of the game, tell me from a standpoint of, has it been talked about at all this week with Columbus saying it's a Red Bull team that's not going to the postseason, but still maybe a dangerous team, still need to make sure that we take care of business at home, give ourselves an opportunity to get another home game?
Well, Doc, take the Red Bulls out of it, and you could put a high school team on the field on Saturday night. And the one thing that I think the Crew players are going to have in mind is that they've not won a regular season game at Lower.com Field since July 19th. We remain undefeated in our league's cup stretch, which came after that, but these regular season games are critical. And Wilfried Nancy has talked about how difficult it is to play at home because there's so much expectation. When you play on the road, the expectation in the environment is that the home team's going to do the best. Well, the Crew have got that responsibility on their shoulders. In addition to what you said earlier, the responsibility of sending Darlington Nagbe out on a win. And then beyond that, the goal every season for Wilfried Nancy has always been 14 or 15 wins in a season. So how do you balance 12 losses on the other side of the record? Well, you're sitting on 13 wins. You got to get that 14th to say you can check that goal off and move on to the postseason. I think there are a lot of reasons why only for Columbus, really need to get that win on Saturday night. Now, when you take a look at the Red Bulls, I mean, I don't think we've discounted any team in the last 10 games of the regular season. And all of them have been below Columbus in the standings at the time that we played them. So, with the exception of Orlando, which moved up when we moved down, you can't take any of these teams for granted. And the Red Bulls guys, in some cases, may be playing for contract extensions. Everyone's hungry on a day like Saturday, and I think it's going to take every bit of what you can contribute to get a win against the Red Bulls.
Chris, appreciate you coming on, giving us a couple minutes. Look forward to seeing you in person this weekend and catching up.
Doc, always great to talk to you. Thank you.